25 people, including Busta Rhymes, and none of them have come forward and talked to police. We tried to reach Busta Rhymes for his comment, but we're not able to get one. He's refused to talk in the past. Stephanie Hires is Israel Ramirez's former girlfriend and the mother of his son, Styles Ramirez. He's 7 years old now. I talked to her earlier today along with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Stephanie, it's been more than a year since Izzy was shot and killed. And when you hear that there were as many as 25 witnesses and no one has come forward to tell police what they saw, what do you think?
I think it's a shame that so many people can actually sleep at night and not be able to just tell what happened, what took place. I couldn't understand how the precinct could receive so many calls at one time and no one seen anything, no one gave any information, not even a picture, not even a written anything, just anything. You could have went into a magazine, cut out pieces of paper and made up a letter and sent it out to the precinct, not necessarily saying your name or how involved you were in the situation, just anything to help.
You want justice for Izzy?
Yeah, I do. He deserved justice. He was doing the job and he lost his life doing the job, and the person he was bodyguarding felt safe when he was around him, so yeah, justice needs to be served.
Reverend Sharpton, does it surprise you that no one has come forward to at least just even anonymously tell police what they saw?
It alarms me. I think that when we create a climate where people in some code of nonsense say that we are protecting murderers and thuggery and drug dealers, what was the fear of those in the past, before our times, and even when I was younger, that they didn't want to be misused by law enforcement. Now that kind of fear is being manipulated and played on by those that have put our community under siege. And I think that this is an incredible situation that must be fought, must be exposed, and this exploitation must stop.
You know, Reverend Sharpton, when we aired this piece last night, and we talked about this with Jeffrey Canada a lot last night, and Russell Simmons, I got a lot of emails from people saying, look, you don't understand in African-American communities the historic distrust of the police. But this goes much beyond just historic and very reasonable distrust at times of the police. This is a message that's being marketed and manipulated.
No, I think that there's genuine mistrust of the police, and I think that many people have that mistrust based on conduct. But I think that to submit and to succumb to saying, therefore, I'm going to become the silent protectors of those that will commit crimes against my community is not the answer. No one raises more questions than I do about police. The answer is to make the police departments operate fairly and evenly for everyone. The answer is not to tell criminals, you ain't got to worry about being brought to justice here, because the next step will be when we fight police cases, then those that testify there are told you shouldn't be talking.
Stephanie, I don't know if you saw the 60 Minutes piece that we did, we interviewed a rapper, Cameron, and he said that if he lived next door to a serial killer, that he wouldn't tell police there was a serial killer next door. He would move, but he wouldn't tell police. Does that kind of attitude surprise you?
Yeah, that does surprise me, because you're actually saying, even as a parent, that you're telling your children a lie. And that's not a good thing.
Did it surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me, because I understand some of what's going on and what's being said. But the answer that I would say to him and others, what about the people that can't move? What about the people that don't have that option? We've got to solve the problem of criminal justice in our community. And solving it is not to give refuge to those that want to prey upon us. I think that clearly we've got to correct policing, but the way to correct it is not to sit there and say, you can do whatever you want, I'm not going to say anything, and I'll just move away and allow you to be exploited. So now I'm going to sit there and be the prey of bad cops and robbers. I think that that is ridiculous, and I think it makes our community in a double way be exploited and oppressed. And that I think is wrong. We've got to struggle toward justice, not struggle toward giving some kind of amnesty to all of those that are wrong in our community.
Well, Reverend Sharpton, what responsibility do these hip-hop artists, and the record companies, these multi-million dollar record companies that are behind them, what responsibility, what role should they play? Because they're the ones right now, wearing the Stop Snitching t-shirts and calling each other snitches and spreading this message message?
Well, I think they got a large responsibility. You know, first of all, when I was growing up, snitching is that if you were a part of an organization, a group that was being wrongly portrayed, you don't turn around for your own self-aggrandizement or own advantage. Not that you were trying to sell dope or murder people. I think that when we look at these huge corporations that are benefiting from it, that are really exploiting our community, we've got to call them in accountability there. Just like they stopped rap records that they felt were anti-police, now we've got records where they're really making our communities victims. Two of the icons in that world, Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, we haven't even resolved their murders. That cheapens the lives of all in our community when people can just be murdered and people walk away like they didn't even kill a human being. That's not the answer. That's one of the reasons we began, as of next Thursday, starting to march on these companies, because these owners don't live in communities that could happen. They would not let their children or their husbands, as in this case, be killed and no one pay a penalty for it. Why should we become less than anyone else in society because of some marketing plan by people that wouldn't live under the same code?
Who are you going to start marching on? I was looking it up. Busta Rhymes is the parent company which supports and promotes him is Universal Music Group. Their CEO and chairman is a guy named Doug Morris. Who are you marching against on Thursday?
Next Thursday, May 3rd, we're going to start. We're going to march past all of them with a decency march. We're starting in front of Sony, going past Universal, going past Warner Group. We're putting them all on notice because we think that the kind of code in terms of using words like the N-word and the B-word and the word hoe, these kinds of things need to be addressed industry-wide. We said after IMUS we were going to do it. We're going to start next Thursday, and then we're going to go one by one, but we're going to visit them all next week.
Stephanie, for you, this isn't, some political argument. This isn't some thing out there. This is very real. Your former partner, the father of your, beautiful son, was shot to death by all accounts, by police accounts, in front of Busta Rhymes, in front of some, maybe as many as 25 other people. What would you say to a Busta Rhymes who hasn't been willing to even tell police what he saw?
I would like to know what can he tell my son when he wants to know what happened to his dad. I would like to know him as a dad. What could someone tell your children if it happened to you? How can they feel? They have no one to call, no one to say daddy to, no one to run to, speak to, just to get a hug, just to say I love you.
I hope someone comes forward and talks about what they see. I hope Busta Rhymes comes forward and at least tells police what he saw.
I sleep well at night, and I wake up with a smile, so it's okay.
Stephanie, thanks.
Thank you.
Reverend Sharpton, appreciate you being on the program. Thank you.
Thank you.